They say great things are worth waiting for, and boy, does this episode deliver. This week, we're welcoming pun master, WOAF artist-in-residence, former Hot Topic employee, and Kristin's extremely serious boyfriend, Christopher, a.k.a. Tofu, into the Pod Loft. With a voice for radio and eyebrows for Hollywood, Christopher takes us through his winding ADHD journey, from bouncing baby boy to bouncing baby man. Did we have to cut his hobby collectors and save it for another day? You betcha! But no matter, because we still managed to cram in so many topics it'll make your head spin. We're covering everything, from copious career changes to color blindness to dog's name Rebecca. Whether you're an eyebrow fanatic or a casual Creedhead, we've got a little bit of everything for you this episode. So pop your tarps off and jump on in.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather. Weirds of a feather.
I'll show you everything.
We're
arms are open. Can you lift me higher? Down to a place where
Wow, it's Creed here? Oh my god.
Holy shit, they're in studio. We have Creed in studio with us today.
Special episode.
Casual special episode.
Yeah.
Casual Creed
is in my parents' basement. Welcome to the 3 felt curtains, Creed. All of Creed.
Stand to be here.
Let's see, can we do the whole episode like this? Shall we? Dare we? No, we do not.
No.
We
don't have Creed.
Shan't dare.
Unfortunately, we don't have Creed in the studio. I'm just going to start this.
Yeah,
Should I just go into it?
Just get in there.
I'm getting in
Hop
there.
on in.
Get in deep.
Yeah.
We do not, unfortunately, we do not have all of Creed in the studio today.
Oh, we just lost
Just
all of
part.
our listeners.
Just
They
part
just
of
all
Creed.
shut it off.
And we probably gained a few. Also, welcome, Creed heads. Sorry to disappoint you, but it's not Creed. Let me introduce the podcast first.
Yeah.
Welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an
Creeds of a
ADHD.
Creeds of a feather. It's a Creed.
All Creed all the
It's
time.
a Creed
Oh,
fan.
a Creed-Adjacent podcast?
Yeah, Creed
the Creed
Adjacent.
music. Creed music sung by Creed from The Office.
A Creed-Adjacent
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
But also an
also
ADHD,
Yeah.
an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I am your host, Grace.
I'm your host, Kristen.
And I'm not your host.
Nope,
No,
he is not.
You're our guest.
Tofu. We are
Tofu.
welcoming our artist-in-residence / my sound apprentice and Kristin's current boyfriend.
Always love that
Christopher.
title. You know, it's good to be
I'm
here
never
for the
gonna
time being.
financially recover from that.
It's good
No.
to be here for the time being.
Yeah, glad you're here for now. Might as well get this interview in while we have you. You know,
You got to take advantage of it. Shoot your shot.
never
That
know when
was
your time's gonna run up.
a Mistake. I
it
meant
The
was.
relationship, yeah.
For now.
Yes.
No,
For now.
that's not what I meant. I meant like it wasn't an ex-boyfriend. It's the boyfriend I have.
You don't need to explain yourself.
Yeah, you're only digging a bigger hole.
The damage has been done. Yes. And on that note, we are welcoming victim Christopher into the Pod Loft.
Victim.
Yes.
I only feel marginally victimized, so I appreciate it.
This is Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Kristin. That's Grace. We've got a guest. His name is Tofu, a.k.a. our artist-in-residence, a.k.a. our sound engineer, a.k.a. my boyfriend weird dating. Date your coworkers.
It is serious.
It's serious. We have 2 cat
Lord.
children, and it's going just fine.
They almost met the other night.
They did meet. This is
Well,
a big
actually, they
update.
did
Cat
very
date.
Oh,
Cat update.
all right. Shall we? All right.
Cat update.
Yeah, get into it, I guess.
They met face to face.
They
And
did?
As long as you have the cat food crack Churu.
Yeah, Churu.
They
This is an
don't
advertisement
care.
for Churu. Turns
I
out
am
Snickers is
actually
a Churu slut and will do anything and everything
100%.
for Churu.
Yep.
Boo does not care.
Boo just likes eating.
He likes eating, but he'll eat anything,
He will.
including your foot the other night.
Yeah, he's very much, he's a trash cat.
Should we try to get sponsored by those?
Churu?
Yeah.
Churu? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, this is a shout out to Churu. We know
Shout
you're
out to
listening.
Churu.
Sponsor us.
My cat's a slut for your product.
Churu. Turn your cats into a crackhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about this meeting that we've been waiting with Baby Breath for.
We took it to the next level
Ooh.
in our cats' lives. And so what we were doing is feeding them treats through a screen that we have Velcroed.
It's like one of those mosquito nets.
Yeah.
for
You can put in a
doors.
doorway.
Yeah.
Oh, we tried one of those in Oregon, and Lucy immediately ripped it down first day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
fast.
tracks. I
Did
can see
not
that.
understand the
Yeah.
concept.
Luckily, the cats don't quite understand. They're like, it's a door, but I see through it.
I feel like Boo's getting close to figuring it out, so we always stop the training as soon as he starts like attempting to make it through the door.
Once he starts investigating, we're like, shut it down.
Shut it down. They're learning.
too close.
Yeah.
He knows too much.
It's like the velociraptors. He's like sensing other parts of the gate to make
Yeah.
sure. He's like, is this a weak point?
Yeah, he's like looking at the corners, and we're like, no.
He's becoming aware.
Reseal it.
So this time, we were feeding him through the screen, and it was going really well. So we just kind of opened up the screen, and Boo kind of like shimmied on by. He got one hiss from Snickers.
And that wasn't till later because at first he sat there and he kept leaning towards the edge of the screen, but he wouldn't come through because he's like, I know I'm not supposed to be on this side,
He's like, I know the rules.
but I want to break them. But yeah, they actually
But
did
yeah,
really
so
well.
they just kind of hung out. Boo at one point went into full stalking mode.
He just wants to play.
Yeah, so I think next
aggressively.
time we'll put the leash on him because we've also started walking him in the hallway. in
Hear
our
that,
apartment.
Peter?
We're normal.
Not only does she have a cat therapist, she walks him on a leash in the hallway.
You know what? I'll make a video of it. He does really well on a
I've
leash.
got photos of him walking the first time outside.
Yeah, we met our neighbor. I met our neighbor Liz, who also has a cat named Liz, and she.
Did she name it that?
No, she goes, I wasn't named after the cat. I go, yeah.
Well, I kind of. But was the cat named after
Yeah,
you?
you're a
That's what
grown
she was
woman.
trying to tell me, but she goes, I wasn't named after the cat. And then she goes, no, of course I think
you
the
weren't.
other way around.
How old is the cat?
Yeah.
45 years old.
This cat's my grandmother. A cat named Liz is just really funny. I love like not even funny human names on animals, just like regular
basic
run-of-the-mill
ones.
names
Right.
like Liz.
Like,
As a
this
cat.
is my bird, Peg.
That's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Peg. We
Like
name all our
Rebecca.
video game characters.
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
A dog named Rebecca. I love that.
This is my ferret, Becky.
We should tell our listeners, send in, what is your pet's name? Is it a human name? I want to know about it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Do you have
some-
a dog named Greg?
Someone we know, and actually this one, I don't like it. It's just too normal. Someone we know, Max will know who I'm talking about, has a dog named Katie. Which is like, that's so normal that it's almost like,
It's too normal.
it's too
It's like-
normal.
I don't know why, but I just thought of a dog named Trevor. It would just be like an old basset hound or like
Yes.
a golden retriever, just not quite there anymore.
All right, so
All right.
getting into the episode.
Yeah, shall we?
We're here
mosey
to
on
talk
in?
about Christopher, a.k.a. Tofu.
We are having tea time with Tofu.
Tea time with Tofu. We
Yeah.
all have tea. What tea did you get?
I don't remember. You switched up something with lavender.
You got honey lavender.
There we go.
I got
There
lemon
was an
ginger,
issue
but
with
there
the
was no
tea.
ginger in there. And then you got something tangerine
sweet-
positivity.
Sweet tangerine.
It's like a
Yeah.
Fruitopia flavor.
No, it's not. But yeah,
Tangerine
kind of.
positivity.
Yeah. Pineapple integration.
Yes. Oh yeah, what was your other one? We brainstormed a bunch of Fruitopia flavor names.
Oh,
Fuck.
no. It was pineapple climate crisis.
Yes, that's what it was.
And then, but the real ones were tangerine or fruit integration.
blueberry, was it blueberry
It was
integration?
watermelon.
Watermans.
Watermelons.
It doesn't matter. Moving on.
Jeez.
My Fruitopia flavor was nobody likes banana. It's a banana flavored one.
All the banana people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like offended, but also I know you want it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's get into
Continue.
it.
That's the Fruitopia. I know you want it.
I know you want this.
Nobody likes banana.
Drink
Just
it.
kidding. We know you want
Nobody likes
it.
bananas.
Christopher, we're excited to have you on here. / it's a little bit overdue.
Long time listener, first time visitor.
You've seen the Pod Loft before. First time
talking.
guest.
First time talker, Pod Loft talker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good. This is
First-
going well.
It's nice and smooth.
I'm glad we coached you.
Yep, pretty sure.
Yeah, good thing we trained for this. All right, so
For minutes
Tofu,
and minutes.
do you want to tell us about yourself and who you are
Yeah.
and what your deal is? And just,
What is tofu?
what is tofu?
Oh, it's this really gelatinous substance that takes on the flavor of
made
whatever
from
you cook
soy?
it with,
Yeah, I believe so.
which
yeah.
is actually a great kind of
It's
my
a good
personality. You just
protein.
take on what's around you, and a good protein,
Just like you.
which I am as well.
You are.
Well, I mean, I don't really know where to start.
Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Isn't that helpful? Good thing I said that.
That's a great place for stories to begin. I was so prepared until you asked me to talk about myself.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's kind of the whole, it's kind of the
Freeze up.
whole thing. But yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
I know.
Do you want would you like a leading question?
yeah.
Yes, please.
How about this? You have what's called a soft diagnosis of ADHD, which we're going to get into later.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
And how long have you had a soft diagnosis?
2 years.
Okay. When would you say is the first time you, looking back now, you're like, maybe that's
Something's going on.
something's going on.
I mean, if I'm looking back from now, it is just really, really obvious. Going back to when I was a kid, I mean, the first time it was really mentioned, I was in 4th grade. A teacher who was not a huge fan of me,
Ugh.
apparently. She told my mom that there's something wrong with your son. You should take him to the doctors.
Cool. What a cool way to
Yeah,
say
super
that.
cool.
Imagine
Cool.
now if someone, if
So
a
cool.
teacher said that.
Wrong.
So my mom took me to the doctors, and they went, yeah, he's just a little boy. He's got a lot of energy. Just a regular bouncing baby boy.
That classic
classic
statement of a
term.
bouncing baby
Yeah.
boy.
Super classic term everybody knows. Should get 3 points in categories. Bouncing baby boy.
Let it go.
Let it go. You're bringing up some
I'm
resentment.
not Elsa. I can't let it go.
Oh.
Oh! Sorry.
That's why we had you in here for the puns.
For the puns.
Boom.
So
Delivering already.
you went to the doctor. They're like,
And
oh,
the doctor
you're
said,
fine. He's just quirky. The doctor.
monkeys bouncing on the. Sorry.
in my head.
Yeah.
Oh.
Except they're still
Except,
there.
yeah, they're
All
always
right,
they
there.
haven't
Beep,
left.
we're cutting
The
all
monkeys
this
are.
out.
What? I'm not cutting that
F
out.
no.
I
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
The monkeys
they-
are always bouncing your
yeah,
head. All right.
They are totally bouncing my head still.
Okay,
They
so
never stop.
you went to the doctor and you literally said you're just quirky.
Pretty much, yeah. He's like, average little boy. He's supposed to act like that.
Yeah.
So nothing happened. And then looking back now, I'd say 5th grade, when I had a teacher who actually went and taught us student by student
Mm.
how each one learns, was the first time I really felt like, oh, I can do this stuff.
Can you
Aw.
remember any like particular reason why that awful teacher said like there's something wrong with you? Were you just not able to sit in your seat for 8 hours a day?
No, not at
Or-
all. I was definitely like fidgety. I was probably that twitchy kid in class that is like, got to be the class clown, make people laugh. kind
Okay.
of- yeah, so I was always kind of
Disruptive.
hyper and not necessarily disruptive, but I guess I
Always
did always
busy?
have like, yes,
Mm.
busy hands, idle hands, feet. They haven't stopped bouncing since I was little. I'm trying real hard to keep them still right now while recording, but
You were a bouncing baby boy, but now you're a
Bouncing baby man.
yes, I am a bouncing baby man.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
trying to say. I was struggling.
It's
I
like,
gotcha.
I mean, looking back on sports, I played soccer for 12 years growing
Mm.
up, and they basically just threw me in midfield because you got to go to both sides of the field. So it was like,
so
all right,
much running.
there you go. Get the ball. And then just be like, yeah. And just run all the time, back and forth. And then like halftime would come and I'd start panting like an overworked greyhound. And then we'd have our orange slices, be good to go again.
Oh, yeah.
I do love
So I guess it
orange
does make
slices.
sense looking back at it like that.
Bring back the orange slices.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still around.
They're-
You can have them whenever
No.
you want.
No.
It's not
Okay.
the same.
You're
Yeah,
right.
somebody else's
Sorry.
mom didn't bring him in a Ziploc bag
Yeah.
pre-cut, so
We could crash a Little League game, next
Yes.
month.
Ma'am, I'm going to
Ma'am,
need those orange slices.
I'll
We're
trade you a
taking these to the
mimosa for
team.
those orange slices. Wait, those
Oh.
gushers? Fuck.
Ooh,
I love gushers.
I
Where
love
are
a
the gu-
gusher. All
Like
right.
here in the studio?
No,
Oh.
like, you
In
know, you
his
get a snack at
imagination,
the
in his
end of your
scenario.
sports.
You have a vivid
Yeah.
imagination. I thought
I
you meant
do.
they were really gushers here. I got really excited.
See?
Fuck, they're gushers. You didn't tell me they're
Pause,
gushers.
pause. We need the gushers.
Shut this down.
Shut it down.
All right. Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your good teacher? Like, what did you realize about yourself, I guess, in that moment?
Well, she really took the time to get to know each of us and show us that we are capable of reading and learning on our own levels. Really addressed us as little people, like
Yeah,
not just
that's so
stupid kids,
important.
and they say no kid left behind. It's really bullshit
Yeah, oh yeah.
because the kids that are either advanced are brought down to a different level, or the other kids don't learn and then they get held back or moved to other classes and made to feel ashamed of themselves. And so our class was the quote unquote disruptive class.
That whole policy like destroyed schools.
Well, it got teachers to just teach just standardized tests.
Yeah,
It
exactly,
just became all
exactly.
about
which is a
standardized
huge
testing.
business, which is like lobbied in government. And
It all goes back to capitalism.
It's capitalism.
It's infiltrating our education system. It has to stop. Anyway.
Yeah, they fucking knew.
You fucking knew.
But she brought in a whole bunch of equipment on her own to teach us. And it just became a lot more personal. And it became, learning was actually fun. That's when I first realized, like, one of my best friends, in that class, he was a grade behind. And because she sat there and worked with him, taught him, a year or two later, he ended up skipping a grade, getting back on track.
Wow.
And she helped a lot of kids
Aw,
get their stuff together.
so
So she was
beautiful.
You
awesome.
want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, Mrs. Thomas, near
Woohoo!
Mar Ranch
Miss-
Elementary. What up?
Aw.
Thomas.
It's easy to forget how much of an impact you can have on a kid's life just by like listening to them and giving them what they need and accommodating them. So that's beautiful that you had at least one teacher who didn't hate you.
Yeah. Oh,
I had a couple.
yeah. That didn't?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had a couple
The rest
that
of them did.
Yeah, I had
Oh.
a couple good ones that didn't hate me.
Oh.
And then
yeah.
the rest of them, like,
Yeah,
I had a few as
profoundly
well.
despised Grace.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was very much hated by a lot of teachers.
Who was that one
me too.
teacher
It
that
was
you and
fun.
Haley are in the same class? Journalism.
Oh, Mrs. Skasha. And she made us go
She
sit out in the hall
hated
when she would
you.
film things, when they would do like a filming project in my journalism class. Before she never even gave us a chance. Before they even started filming, she was like,
I'm sorry.
she was like, Haley and Grace, I know you're going to be disruptive just out in the hallway. Just skip this whole
Oh my God.
project. We're like, all
That
right,
sounds like my
sweet.
Spanish teacher. We had a seat that was in the corner just because it was an extra seat. But there were a couple of us. That's where I met my friend Kat, was in that class because we would always end up talking, all of us in that back corner, and be like, all right, whichever one of us got sent to quote unquote Siberia, which is what the teacher called that chair. So usually it was me, but she'd be like, Christopher, Siberia. I'm like, damn it, Mrs. Badia. But she was the best. We actually found out where, this is going to sound really creepy. We found out where she lived, and for her like 80th birthday, decorated her road and then bribed the large security guard with cake to let us into her room and decorate all of that. And then we hid in there to yell surprise and realized we were all too afraid to kill her by yelling
Yeah, I
surprise.
was gonna say, an
so we
8-year-old
just
woman.
sat there and looked at each other in the dark like, you jump out. It's like, no, you. It's like, oh my God. But she loved it. After that, I mean,
Jesus.
it was enough to where my little sister had her and she stopped class in the middle to ask her how I was doing. So that was another good teacher,
No.
even if I didn't get a good grade.
So after that, what did your education, take us on a journey through your
you've got.
education.
I need a pen.
Get a pen.
I gotta write this down because I feel
Oh,
like I have
okay.
a hard time keeping track of your life story.
You should make
Yeah,
one
it's
of
all
those
over
like
the place.
timelines, like in third grade, you
Yeah.
know, where you do like your life.
Oh,
I would like
Yeah.
a PowerPoint presentation.
You guys can hang it on the wall, frame
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Yeah. PowerPoints, I don't think I could make a PowerPoint.
It'd
I
be
would
like
lose my mind.
80 slides.
Be very long, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it would go all over the place. But I mean, jumping ahead of there, middle school was easily forgettable. Not great, not terrible. I mean, everything was so basic that there wasn't a whole lot of learning going on.
Mm.
I'd pick up something and then be like, okay, cool, now what? And then stop paying attention, and grades would be affected because of it. And
That's
then
so frustrating.
yeah, high school as well. Looking back on it now, it makes a lot of sense. Like, didn't think about it then. I always just heard, oh, he's hyperactive. He has a lot He And it's like,
you're
oh,
you're
class
bouncing
clown.
baby boy. That's
Exactly.
what
Bouncing
you are.
ba- that's like the number one trait of bouncing baby boys. But I was also one of the small kids. Like, you think about the shortest kid in your class, that was me.
Mm.
And I was younger than everybody too. So it was like I was 4'9" until my senior year of high school.
Oh, that's rough.
And so that added to it too. So that didn't help.
And now you're 4 foot.
11. I'm almost 5 feet.
You're
No.
almost
No,
there,
I'm just
buddy.
kidding. No.
No, you're.
like, I don't know. I don't really know.
I
Like
don't
5'10",
know how tall you
5'11".
are. We're like the same
We're up
height.
there.
5'6",
We are
5'7".
not the same height at all
You're slightly taller than I am.
by several inches.
Yes.
Sure.
But yeah,
Anywho.
that's how it kind of went. Like high school teachers, I'd do well in a class if the teacher taught in a way that resonated with me.
Mm.
A lot of teachers don't.
Yep.
I remember chemistry. I was not doing well in that class. They had something called the coffee cram slam the night before, like the midterm, where they just went over everything briefly from the semester. And I learned all of my chemistry that night and then got like a 92% on the midterm. Or something.
I am going about school in the wrong way.
I don't know. I'm better in like short bursts of, it's going to sound very strange, but some real hyper-focused sessions
Whoa.
of learning.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
No way.
What?
Innovative.
I might have ADHD.
Okay,
It's almost like you have
so what
ADHD.
about after, now that you're at the age where you can go to war?
And then some.
And did you have
Almost
any after high school education?
After high school, or even during high school, I knew that I didn't come from a very well-off family, so I knew that I wasn't going to be going to any kind of major college, so that kind of didn't help with the whole trying thing.
For our UK listeners, that's because education is expensive in America because it's all capitalism.
Oh, yeah,
And it
yeah.
sucks.
I didn't even bother taking the SATs because I'm like, that is $80 I don't have to take a test
Yeah.
for a school I'll never go to.
And this is what we
There's
keep
so many
talking about.
barriers.
It's so
Yeah.
many barriers just to get, an education. We were just talking about like admission essays earlier and about how I think it's crazy that you have to like, I'm already like taking out several loans to pay you money.
Yeah.
Let me into school.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't have, so I didn't worry about it. So after high school, I took a little time off, and then I attempted going to a community college. The first one that I went to, I was there for about a week, maybe 2.
Nice.
I realized 2 things while there. One, you should be very careful about the classes you take because it's going to look like, it's going to put you on an FBI watch list if you take them at the same time.
What did you take?
Well, it was forensics, a law class, and Arabic. This was like 2006.
Oh, bad time.
Yeah, that's a bad
And it's
time.
only because I really liked languages. Arabic was fascinating, and
is a
I
beautiful
wanted to
language.
do forensics for a long time. And then all the shows came out, and it really flooded the field. And I'm like, okay, fuck that. But also I learned that school just felt like second high school. There was nothing really going on there. Nobody cared. There was no extra. I don't know. It just didn't click. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to waste any more time or money on that. And that happened kind of twice. Same thing with the other one. It was a community college. The next school that I went to was several years later. On a whim, I entered into the Art Institute for graphic design and then advertising, which was actually great. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was thriving. It was my kind of learning, hands-on art-related stuff. And then, Education America, it was a for-profit school. So at the end of the first year, they're like, okay, time to re-up for these loans and stuff. I know the first time you didn't have a cosigner, this time you need it. And I'm like, well, I can't get a cosigner. Like,
What?
all right, bye.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's
Ugh,
just
that's so discouraging.
Yeah. So that was a bummer. So I was like, all right, take a break from school for a while. And it was, 5 years later, I, once again on a whim, went to school for massage and holistic health.
Based on what?
Oh, I got a letter because I lived near there. They were like, oh, no. Yeah, I got some kind of thing
You're like,
that.
I could do
And
that.
I was like,
have hands.
I'll go check it out. Why not? And I went in, and the lady that was working in admissions, I've had really bad insomnia since I was like 7. And just talking to her, because I'm like, I might as well check out the school. I'm not doing anything this afternoon, and it's free entertainment. So I went in there, and she gave me some lavender, whatever it's
Like
called.
essential oil.
That's the one. And she's like, just put 2 drops of this on your pillow, and it'll help. And I did that night, and I fell asleep and had the most like relaxed sleep I had ever had. And I'm like, all right, I want to do that. I'm going to that school.
Whoa, that's so cool.
And so I went and I graduated as a holistic health practitioner.
And you graduated.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I made it. Thank you.
I feel like you're kind of following the flow of the universe. Some might see it as being, I don't know, impulsive or I don't know what else, but I see it as you're just kind of like, I just see it
some
as
may
you're
see it as impulsive or more impulsive
or
but-
other things. Well, there's another word there that my brain is not working. But yeah, I feel like it's cool that you're kind of just letting the universe just take you along the way.
I've always liked to just kind of, take it in stride. There's really not a whole lot else I could do for certain situations that I was either in or put myself in. Yeah, that was for education. I'd say the workplace kind of followed the spontaneity as well.
You had many careers.
I made a short list of a few.
A short list of a few. You want to just rapid fire go through them right now?
Yeah, well, the ones I could remember from the age 15 to now.
Yep.
Held a sign for a pawn shop. Then I worked at Subway for a few weeks, quit that because it interfered with a show with my punk band at the time.
Oh, that's right. You were in
Cold
a
Stone
band.
Creamery.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Then I worked at a little mom and pop coffee shop, which is actually a lot of fun. And then after that, a cafe at Borders
Nice.
before they shut down. I feel like there was something else in there I can't remember, and then Hot Topic for a short period of time.
Yeah,
And then
it's Hot
we don't talk
Topic.
about those ages. Yeah, I was a scene kid.
yes.
You still are.
At that time.
yeah.
You're scene man.
dare you.
You're a sea man.
I don't have the swoopy hair anymore.
Oh no, you have a
You
much
do
better
have
hair.
gauge holes, though.
Well, those aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
They were at about an inch. I haven't put anything in there in a very long time.
Mm.
So they're at like a half inch now. After that, I think I worked at REI, which was a blast because that's when I got into rock climbing
Nice.
Nice.
because we had a free membership by working there.
Ah, sweet.
Only way you can afford that. Sometime later, I think that's when I went to the Art Institute, moved on to, I think, Best Buy, and then left there to work at a casino for a couple of years. That was actually one of the longer
Jeez.
ones. That was like 3.5 years,
Were you
4 years.
a card dealer?
No, I was in customer service, and then I changed to the midnight shift of that, and then I changed to the people that change out the boxes inside of the slot machines. And we would have to do that
Oh.
as quick as possible with like 3,000 machines, and we get it done in like an hour and a half. And you get paid for 8 hours.
Whoa,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
So we just bust that out real quick, and then I
Talk
go to
about
school
some
for massage.
motivation.
I know. I was just about to say that. That's
I was
so
like,
yeah.
motivating.
If someone
yeah.
says, I'm going to pay you
It is
8
terrible,
hours
though,
worth
your
of work.
wrists.
Yeah.
That's the thing about ADHD is we just need the right kind of motivator,
Mhm.
and not having to work for long hours of time is a very strong motivator for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
If you can get everything done this quick, you get paid for the full time. It's like, yeah, I could
Yeah.
take my time and we could stretch this out to 8 hours, but if I don't have to, shit, I want to go home. And then I'd go to school while doing that because I was going to school for 8 to 16 hours a day.
Jeez.
Because it was like
Whoa.
4-hour classes with an hour in between.
Oh my God.
And
What a
so,
nightmare.
yeah, I did that full load, no time off.
And you were just raw
For 2
dogging it
years.
this whole time? No medication? No,
oh, yeah, no,
anything?
100%. I guess the only thing was I was smoking cigarettes at the time.
Mm.
That was it.
So self-medicating?
Yep, self-medicating with nicotine and probably wine. And then
Oh, because you were in California.
Oh,
the
yes, that's
California.
right. I am
land
from
of the wine.
California. Yes.
Except
And
you were in
then-
Southern California.
Yeah,
More-
SoCal. Shred it.
That's his
Literally
natural
no one ever
accent.
said
Yeah,
it.
that's his.
That's
He's,
what I
he's
really
masking
sound
right
like.
now.
But yeah, then I went from there. I ended up moving up to Orange County using, I think I was dog grooming at that time. So I used that as a way to
Of
transfer
course
there.
you were.
And then from dog grooming, I ended up getting a job at an ABA therapy company.
Mm.
The first day I worked on the front desk. Second day they moved me to billing. A couple weeks later, I became a therapist with like 3 days
And
of
what
training.
kind of therapy did you like? What I guess like who was your clientele?
Autistic children.
Okay.
Yes. As they would tell
I
us
already
to
knew
say,
that, but I just felt
children
like
with
the listeners
autism
needed to
was
know
their
that.
term.
Yes,
But
but
yes,
many
we-
people in the autistic community prefer autistic because they don't want to be separated from their autism. It's like that is very
Mhm.
much a part of them. And
Yeah.
it depends on the person. Some people prefer person with autism, but most autistic people prefer autistic.
And that's when I really started to kind of look at myself and notice more of the ADHD and come to terms with it. Because a lot of these kids, you would only think like a couple of kids I work with, I looked at and I'm like, holy shit, that's me from 4th grade. Like that's just a kid with a lot of energy. Like I did all of that same stuff. Oh no.
Introspection.
And so it was, yeah, it was really, really eye opening. And I really valued that job a lot. It was probably one of the best ones I've ever had.
Do you want to say a quick little bit? I know you and I talked about kind of the problems with ABA. Do you want to talk real quick about what you observed and how you tweaked it a little bit? Because I
Wait,
really,
what is ABA
I really
a
respect
company?
what you did. No, it's a type of therapy.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you
Applied
explain
behavioral
what
analysis.
it is for people who don't know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's essentially dog training for children.
Yes, for autistic children. Many autistic adults who had to go through ABA training. It's like touted. How is that word said?
Yeah.
Touted. It's like touted as the best treatment for autism. But many autistic people say that no, it actually did a lot of trauma, and it
It's
essentially
just
is like
forced masking.
yeah, it essentially trains them to mask to make people around them feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like they'll literally do like treat training with them.
That was what I was going to say is the first child I worked with, he was trained on veggie sticks, like the little chips, and is like, oh, you're doing something good. Here, have a chip. And I was like,
Like my
I don't
dog.
feel comfortable with this. I immediately thought this is just training dogs, and I'm a cat person. So we're going to change that. And I worked him off of those. I had another kid I worked with that would always bring in stuffed animals and video games, and slowly worked him off of those so that he responded to other things. And he'd still get to use them as a reward, but not like the dog training they were trying to get me to do. It was just kind of depressing watching how other people treated, because it was forced masking.
a lot of the things that they're like training them to do are essentially, when you think about it, just ignoring their own natural needs. You know, autistic children need to move their body differently. They like take in sensory information differently. They learn differently. And so it's, teaching
like the
them.
sensory stimming, they would try to make them stop. Like outside they had the...
That's like abusive.
Right. Like the fake grass and everything. And they'd always be like, oh, no, don't mess with that. And I'm like, no, if, hey, as long as we're doing well in class, like when we go out there, kick your shoes off, rub your feet through the grass and everything. Hang out there. We're only out there for a couple minutes, Yeah,
neurodivergent people, adults and children, need to stim. It's like a bodily need in order to regulate your nervous system. Like that's what people are doing when they're stimming, whether it's touching something that they like the texture of, the classic kind of hand flapping, spinning around, the legs shaking, verbal stims, whatever it is. It's the body's way of self-regulating.
Yeah.
So it's so important to let them do that and explore like what makes them feel regulated.
Looking back on it, I can see a lot of the people that were therapists,
quote unquote,
air quotes, were definitely neurotypical too, and just didn't understand. Like, no, he's expressing himself. He's happy right now. I'm not going to force him to not express that he's happy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you want to go off? I don't know what neurotypicals do. Watch
play
American
golf.
Idol after this. Play golf. Fuck golf.
America's Funniest Home Videos, apparently.
You're not allowed to anymore.
Is what Haley says. Ryan watches America's Funniest Home Videos every Sunday night.
Okay.
On a schedule. That's what they do.
It is really funny. On his schedule.
Yeah.
From 7 to 8, I'm going to do this.
Oh, it's time for AFV.
Yeah. I'm going to go have fun now. I don't know. But yeah, it was really eye-opening.
Let me make sure I pre-pee.
Yeah.
I know. We need to get into that.
Oh, man. That's a topic for a different day.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was rewarding working with the kids, and then moving into the billing and case management side of it was very rewarding. Then I ended up leaving there and moving out here about 5 years ago. Since I was out here, I worked a manufacturing job, which I'd never done before. I made drywall from raw material to finished product. And then I left there. I tried waiting tables for about 2 weeks and realized when I dumped the very first tray I held into a customer's lap,
I've done that.
he got a margarita in his sandal.
No.
Not only that, there was a kid at the table, and when it dropped, it went, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit. Because there's a kid. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
Sorry. I can't do this. So that didn't last long. I left there. And then I worked in a warehouse, 12-hour days, unloading trucks for a very devilish company.
You can say it. I don't give a shit.
Walmart.
Fuck you, Walmart.
Yeah, fuck you, Walmart. Fuck you, Amazon. And now I am working at a hospital as a PSR, and it's really great.
Nice.
At my hospital.
Yep.
I'm dating my coworker.
Ooh,
But we were dating first. It's okay.
It's okay.
Hospital
Less
scandal.
controversial.
Oh.
Well, that is quite the resume.
I know. Your resume is like
careers.
15 pages long.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't help when people are interviewing. They don't really like that.
I see it as you've had a very diverse experience. You have a lot of different skills. It's kind of the neurodivergent path, where you're picking up a lot of different skills in so many different areas.
It's the jack of all trades.
Yep.
I've always had that mentality.
Same.
Right. And now you're like so good at your job and telling people how to do their job better when you've only worked there for a couple weeks.
A lot of people don't want to do more stuff.
Well, I also feel like, and maybe this is me projecting, but you work with a bunch of people who do not know how to convert a Word document to a PDF.
You could just say boomers.
There's a fair amount of those as well.
And you come in and you're very much computer savvy, and you're very patient with everybody, me, race. Boomers.
It's a good trait to have.
And willing to teach. And I think that's a great quality.
Well, I appreciate that.
I agree.
The patience I had to learn when dealing with myself for a lot of it, because it's frustrating not being able to concentrate and do things that I really enjoy.
Almost as frustrating as trying to teach someone how to convert a Word document into a PDF.
That one's a little bit easier.
That one's very frustrating
clicks,
when they don't
but
get
it's
it.
Still, it is frustrating.
When you're like, no, you just save as. Save as.
I had to teach someone the concept of right-clicking.
Oh,
like the concept of it.
Or how you can just click on the word to spell check it instead of actually clicking spell check. A surgeon, this man's been to medical school. He's also been to war, and I had to teach him how to do that.
There's no spell check in war.
He's seen people die. He's rearranged people's colon, and he has no idea,
In war, everything's caps locked.
All right, we should probably trot on our horses soon into segments.
Yeah,
but
we've got
a couple more things
to talk about.
Okay.
And this, I think, is like the more important part of your story. You've lived most of your life kind of thinking, oh, like there's probably some sort of ADHD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you just told me now. We just learned that you did not want the diagnosis for a very long time.
No, I didn't.
You did not want to seek out that diagnosis, which is very much the opposite, I think, of most of our listeners are like, I just need a diagnosis. But can you explain your stigma? Because this was years ago, too. And this is before TikTok, before people really started talking, before the internet was like.
I also really hate that TikTok really helped me out with learning about it.
I hate that, too.
I hate it so much.
But
I
it
wanted
really
to stay away from it.
Because no one talks about like the personal day-to-day of what this looks like in real life, you know?
Yeah, I hate so much that TikTok helped with that. Fuck.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyway.
Can you chat about that for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
It says San Diego.
Uncut Johns.
Uncut Johns.
Okay.
Yes, when I was younger, I thought of it as an excuse. I thought of it, when people said, oh, that person back then, it was like when that person has ADD or ADHD, which is the even worse version, is everything I kind of heard. And so I grew up in a school where I was born left-handed. They forced me right-handed. They very much had a way of like.
Did you go to Catholic?
Were you born in 1872?
Yes, I just eat lots of carrots, so I look quite young.
Because I am also left-handed, and I was just allowed to be left-handed.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to spring for the extra scissors,
Oh, God forbid. Oh,
or
the
they
other
have to
desk.
read with the smudged writing because your left hand's. Yeah. So anyway, I do a little bit left, a little bit right, bi-handed.
You're an ambi-turner. Or just ambidextrous.
He also known as ambidextrous.
Precisely. But I saw it as a negative thing. I saw ADHD, ADD, autism, all of it as a negative connotation, just like had that stigma. And so I didn't want to find out for sure that I had it, even though I'd always said, I'm probably on that level. I didn't want the chance to use it as an excuse as to why I could or could not do something.
Even though we kind of talked about this earlier, it is an excuse. I mean, I hate the word excuse. It's a reason why you struggle with certain things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an explanation.
I met some people that use things like, oh, well, I can't do that. Whereas they could, they're just not trying. It's more of, it's almost like, I don't know if this is the right phrase, but like weaponizing your
like not attempting to and not attempting to find like a way that they could do it, a workaround.
Diagnosis, you're turning it into a wall so that you can get out of doing other things.
I think though there's a lot of stigma with a lot of different either psychiatric illnesses or neurodivergencies. Especially like if you go back to stigmas that have stopped people from getting treatment, if you like go way back to like the 60s, depression was like, oh, depression, that's just you being sad. Just try being happier. It's like you're just not strong enough to be happy. So people thought, people saw that as like a weakness and they didn't. And there's this huge stigma and there still is with depression, I think, of like, ooh, they're depressed or they're going to therapy. They're crazy.
And that was me. That's how I felt.
Right. And I think the same thing with neurodivergencies. I think a big one that's like that is schizophrenia, which is incredibly hard to diagnose, but it is also, there's such a big stigma that I think doctors are afraid to put that in people's charts because that will follow you for the rest of your life and people will basically treat you different because of that, being like, he's not really in pain. He has schizophrenia. He's just having an episode. And you're like, no, he's probably like having some sort of major thing happening. But anyway, let me step off my pedestal. There's a lot of stigmas. I do.
Right. Come on down.
There's a lot of stigma with neurodivergencies. There's a lot of stigma with mental illness. And it does prevent people from going out and seeking treatment. And I think you are one of them. And I'm proud of you for coming to the other side.
Yeah. So when did you kind of go into finally accepting it into your heart?
Yes.
Only recently, because I was ignorant when it came to diagnoses and stuff like that. I had gone to a therapist once when I was younger, and my whole thing was, I don't want to be on medication. I can manage just on my own. I'm tough. I'm a man. Patriarchy. And then I went to the therapist, and the first thing I said was, so do you want medication? And I'm like, fuck this. And so
Yeah.
that just pushed it into my head even more.
Mhm.
Well, that's not a
Um,
good way to start
yeah.
things.
But in the grand year of 2020,
Yes, the
Yeah.
year of our Lord.
yes. Yeah, thanks God. Thanks for coronavirus.
Thanks a lot.
Piece of shit. But yeah, then I decided, you know what? I had one hell of a week and hit a real dark spot and was like, fuck this. I'm going to check out therapy
Nice.
and see what it's all about. And I did. And my God, I scheduled my first one. I did it immediately scheduled because it was all like televideo stuff for the next day with the same person. Because I'm like, this is amazing.
Oh
My God. And then, saw that, got some help, got some meds to help level it out, found the right balance. And
Woo, woo.
it changed everything. Like, I'm a completely different person for the positive. I got my soft
Therapy.
diagnosis of ADHD. Say soft because they can't fully diagnose over video and the internet. I have to go in, which I have an appointment on the 28th to start that
Wow.
process.
Congratulations.
So I'm
Golf clap.
excited. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Hi.
fuck
Oh, my
off.
fidget toy.
Oh.
Get it. Oh, God. It's running away.
I got it.
Okay, good.
Well, that's huge to make an appointment because, like, the process of making an appointment is like all the things that ADHDers struggle with.
Yeah, and I got fucking tired of it. I'm like, I need help.
And I
got
also
to try
think
it
it's
once.
amazing. You like came home, you're like, I made an appointment, and I'm like, congratulations. No tears were shed.
You just did
Remember when I made my appointment and I like hyperventilated and
Yes, I
cried for
do.
45 minutes? Yeah.
I finally in my later years
it. Yes.
started realizing, you know what? Anything doctor related, like, well, I gotta fucking do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Good attitude.
Nike. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck Nike too. Yeah, and so that's where I'm at now. I'm waiting to see. I am on like a couple different things. Like Wellbutrin is supposed to help out. I haven't noticed a huge difference. I'm still very much fidgety, and my legs never
Yes.
stop.
That's like a non-stimulant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ADHD
that's all they could
and
do over
anxiety
like the
medication.
ADHD, anxiety, and depression. It's more for depression, anxiety, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
finding because it does work on your dopamine receptors that it may be a non-stimulant alternative, but also helpful if you
I
have.
was just when I say that.
Yes.
Beat me to it.
And they're also hypothesizing that maybe it will help with people who have like the combo, the deluxe combo of ADHD, depression, anxiety.
Lux package. All right, let's real quick. I want to hear like the biggest things that you think are difficult about your ADHD, and then a couple of those positives, and then
Okay.
we'll get into those seggies.
Oh yeah. I guess difficult things with ADHD, definitely the concentration. I had trouble all throughout school trying to sit there and actually learn from reading from a book.
Oh, you think putting kids in a school for 8 hours a day, you think they'd have a hard time sitting down and quietly doing their work?
It's training them how to be factory workers.
Apparently. Yeah. Hey, well, it worked. All right. I worked in a factory.
Oh,
Guess what?
the agenda is working.
It fucking sucked. Gave me carpal tunnel, sons of bitches. It's hard for obviously the learning, the paying attention. Now that I'm older, it's the interpersonal relationships. I have a hard time. For instance, one of the most difficult things is, when you're in that serious conversation and something's going on and you've got to you're all sitting there for the talk and the other person goes, well, what's on your mind right now? I can't sit there and go like, what if we use bumper cars on a roller coaster? Could that save some people, or would that be fun or more dangerous? Also, while that's happening, I'm thinking about what kind of vegetables would be best for lunch. And there's some kind of music playing that I don't know all the words to, while still trying to think of the topic too. So it's you can't say I'm thinking about Batman. Well, you don't care? It's no, I really do, but
It's one
I
of the
can't
many
stop.
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that makes it very hard. I would say what was the term again for the rejection?
Oh, rejection sensitive dysphoria.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time. I had thought I was just me and messed up until you started talking about that, and I found out about it from this podcast, and I was like,
Look
oh,
at us.
fuck, I've got that.
Yeah, I think it's
rough.
around 90% of ADHDers have RSD, which is this really intense reaction to either real or perceived rejection. And it's like a physical reaction in your body.
Oh, yeah. It flat out, if something like that happens, I can feel everything crumple inside. And I know that now. And so I'm like, it's not really like that. Work through that. Don't worry about it. And then there's the insomnia that I've had since I was 7.
That's the other thing. So you literally just listed 3 of the big ADHD traits that are found in adults that are not a part of the DSM, but it's literally on top of the emotional regulation. That should be 100% in the DSM. That's like such a big aspect of ADHD, but it's also a lot of ADHD adults report difficulty with interpersonal relationships, rejection-sensitive dysphoria, and sleep disorder. And I think it's, again, around 90% of adults with ADHD have some type of sleeping disorder.
I mean, you
And
can
they
ask
don't
Kristin
talk
about
about
my
it.
sleeping disorders and my sleep schedule.
Yeah, it's all over the place. There's no, some days you're out like light, other days you listen to a book on tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been doing
To
that
go to bed.
recently and
Yeah,
falling
to
asleep.
go to bed.
It's a book I've already read too.
Usually
good
what
choice.
happens, the best case scenario is I'm in bed before him,
Mhm.
and then he comes in, and then I slowly starfish around
It's-
him.
It's like any video you've seen of an octopus holding a jar when they just wrap around it and grab on tight. And it's amazing. It's like a weighted blanket.
Oh, that is kind of nice.
It's like that compression, and
Mm.
I've never been able to fall asleep easier. So it's
You should
actually
get a
nice.
weighted blanket.
We have a weighted blanket.
Yeah, it's just too hot.
Oh,
I
that's
also
the
run
problem.
very warm. Yeah, it sucks.
Ian has that same problem.
Mhm.
All right, why don't you tell us a few of your positives? Because I know you have some positive ADHD traits as well.
Well, I have really nice eyes.
That is a big
And
aspect
eyebrows.
of
and
ADHD.
eyebrows.
Oh, and
Don't
eyebrows,
forget the
yes.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
'cause
you That's do.
what really,
You've got
dragged
nice
her-
eyebrows. You know
Oh,
what?
that's what
men?
I
gets
read on her
Kristin.
profile
You
she
know?
likes expressive eyebrows, so I went for
You
it.
know
Kristen
what?
loves a thick eyebrow.
I
Yeah.
love a thick eye. Who doesn't like a thick eyebrow?
I don't know.
I'm
Women
indifferent.
You know
from in the
what?
90s.
Okay,
Ugh.
besides women in the 90s.
trauma.
My
The
eyebrows
trauma.
have
The eyebrow
recovered.
trauma.
But
Never
you gotta-
recover from this.
I don't
a
really
man
care
with
about
a good eyebrow.
I don't
That's
give a shit about a man's eyebrows. That's a you thing.
That's not
You've
a me
al-
thing.
Yes,
I think,
it is.
I think we're taking
Anyway,
a poll.
I'm-
anyway.
We're taking a poll.
I'm sure plenty of other
How
people.
much in the dating game? How much do eyebrows count?
0.
So I'd also
It's
say
like
learning
50%
fast
for me.
is a good one.
Yeah,
I've been told I pick up on things pretty quickly.
Yes, you do.
Empathy, creativity.
Absolutely.
I really like patterns. I just
Love a
found out
pattern.
about this Wordle thing. And,
Oh my God.
I don't know. You guys said that my jumping to the correct answer
Is insane.
Yeah, you're very
even
fast
if you don't,
with it.
if
I don't
even
have
if you
my
don't get
phone.
it like super fast, just you'll have like a total of like one right letter, and you're like, oh, it's obviously stare.
Yeah, you have very
And
good
you're
pattern
like-
recognition.
because the R is right in the place where it should be, and I'm like, I just
It's just like I block out all the letters that have been darkened out, and I'm like, okay, let me process. And what is it like? There was a certain part of the game, not Trivial Pursuit.
Scrabble.
No, it starts with a
Bananagrams.
Q. No, it doesn't start with a Q.
Squirtle.
Squelch, Quirtle.
QAnon.
Squirtle.
Yes,
Squirtle.
Blastoise. Yeah, jumbled letters. I don't know. They just work
Bananagrams?
out in my head really quick.
I just said bananagrams.
No.
Is it bananagrams? Let's just keep saying bananagrams.
Bananagrams.
Jackal. It's a jackal. Jackal. No.
No, I don't get that. I
But
don't get any of
I
these
like
references.
puzzles. I like
Man.
patterns. I'm gonna be thinking about the
You're
name
a
of the game
puzzle
for the
guy.
rest of the
Yeah,
for the
big
rest
puzzle
of the
guy.
night until I remember that.
All right.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
Your handle should be puzzles and eyebrows.
Random facts. I'm
Yeah.
good at trivia,
Yes, you're good at trivia.
and
Mm.
it's just stuff I've picked up from any day stuff. I don't know. It just sits there.
I
It's
got a
unfortunate.
trivia question. We had a trivia work night, and I got a trivia question because you were, I don't want to say shouting,
That's fair.
telling me a random fact about how chartreuse is a French drink.
Oh, yeah. It's
And
made my bunks, and it's the only thing
It's
that
just, it's literally like,
the color comes from
you
the
were-
alcohol, not the other way around.
right.
Ah.
So you were telling me about this, and then it was like the next day, a trivia question being like, this French
Whoa.
liqueur was named after, was the inspiration for the name of the color or something like that. I go,
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
That's a huge synchronicity.
and I mean, the whole place got it because I go, chartreuse! It's chartreuse! My coworkers are like, shut up. Oh my God. So everybody got that one right. That was a free one for the crew.
And there's an example of Kristen's impulsivity.
It's a lot of big motions and noises.
I also I
It's
wrote
wonderful.
it down and I like ran up and I slammed
She's
it down and
slam
I go, check
dancing
it.
right now.
Right. It's right.
I know it's right.
The guy's like, yeah,
Yeah, I
we
know.
all heard you. I don't know if you've
Yes.
ever seen me play trivia, but like when we get a thing wrong, I do one of these. Ah!
Pull a Linda from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
I am Linda.
Plus Gail.
Linda plus Gail.
Mr. Business.
Oh,
You are-
Mr.
oh.
Business. He's the best. So cute.
All
Little
right,
tooth.
right.
guys, it's been an hour. We should
It's
probably
been an
trot
hour.
our way into these segments.
Transition.
Ooh.
Welcome back.
Whoa! I didn't know you had a voice for radio.
And a face.
You do.
No, you get a face.
I got a face for
That's
radio.
what
But
now
not
would
with those
say.
eyebrows. That's made for Hollywood.
You got
I
eyebrows for
only
Hollywood.
have eyebrows.
But a
Eyebrows and a
nose
mouth.
for audiobooks.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I feel neutral about your nose. I don't
And
pay attention.
audiobooks.
I feel like I don't pay attention to people's facial.
Construction.
Yeah. I just like, I'm not very observant about, I just don't pay attention to like things like eyebrows. I would never think to feel one way or another about a man's eyebrows.
You know what? I work with some men, and some of those men have quite thick eyebrows. And every once in a while, when it's been like a long
I'll
night,
kill him.
and
Competition.
and no, it's not competition. It's just
Eyebrow competition at the
I'm gonna
hospital.
force these to grow harder.
I don't do my hair every day for work because usually I'm like have a little surgical cap, so I don't expect my colleagues to do their eyebrows every day. And sometimes they're real out of whack, and we're operating, and that's all I can look at is that like one rogue eyebrow hair that just comes down.
That is annoying.
And then, you're trying to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, but all I can think about is like, look at that fucking eyebrow hair. Look at that fucking eyebrow hair.
Actually,
it's right there.
you
Just
know what?
comb it out of the way.
I do notice men's eyebrows now only because of you. Because when I see a thick eyebrow on a man, I'm
You're
like,
just like,
Kristin would
damn,
like
that's
that
a thick eyebrow.
I think of you. I
That's
think,
a nice
Kristin
brow.
would love those eyebrows.
I love
It's
your
your thing.
brows. Christopher, they're nice brows.
Yeah, I only
Thanks.
think that about you, Christopher.
They're also very
Aw.
tame,
Well, I
They're
work
well
at that.
groomed.
Yeah, they're well groomed.
Gotta work at that.
Ladies gotta appreciate a well groomed eyebrow on men.
Yeah.
Or men.
And men, groom
do
your
what I can.
eyebrows.
Men groom your eyebrows. You'll
Get
never
it
be
together,
the
man. Actually,
Yeah.
I learned.
What else are you offering?
I
Get a
learned from this one
spoolie.
barber how to do it, and I'm gonna break it down real quick for you.
Okay,
Ooh.
You
let's
take
hear it.
a little comb and you brush the eyebrow in the opposite direction that it grows. The long ones will stick up top. Cut along the top of the eyebrow with the rest of the hairs. Brush it back the other way. Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Genius.
I
There
had
you go,
no idea,
folks.
and I had one barber that's like,
Our
"Oh
one
yeah, I
male
do
listener.
this." Yeah. Who is me? No.
Brendan might take that tip.
And
He's a well-groomed
Brendan,
man.
fix your eyebrows.
Justin.
I don't know. I'm not saying
I
you
don't
have
know.
Justin,
bad
fix
eyebrows.
your eyebrows.
No, Justin doesn't listen. He's a poser. He only
He
B-Rain,
responds to
fix
the
your
polls.
eyebrows.
Justin responds to
he
all the
just wants the
polls.
polls without any of the work, which is listening to this podcast. He just wants the fun stuff.
Well,
Yes, I didn't know
this
that.
is a PSA.
Yeah.
Peter doesn't
anybody
give a
with
shit.
eyebrows.
One of my barbers,
His
he
eyebrows.
was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, my husband got eyebrows like this all the time," and so he just brushed them back, took the little clippers, and zzz, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's a game changer.
I'm like, one day I'm gonna find a woman who appreciates this.
You know,
Oh, bring it on back.
That's
Oh,
me.
it's fate.
Oh man,
Literally, that's like her number one
That's my number one
requirement in a
thing.
man.
Although-
It was on the profile.
it was on the profile. I don't
Yeah.
recommend.
oh, you had it in your profile.
Yeah, I had.
I like expressive eyebrows,
I
and
thought
I'm
it was
like,
cute.
so when I talk
I
about it, I'm
thought
like, twitchy.
Kristen loves
Eyebrows.
this.
Like,
I thought it was cute,
You wanna
and
go
you
on
know
a
what I
date?
got
Yeah.
instead is a bunch of creepy men being like, "Look at these brows," and I'm like, "Ew."
Those are pubes, sir.
Kristen,
Yeah.
it's
That's not your
what
nose.
do you think about these brows? And the one guy would just go, "They are not enough for me."
Get out of here.
I was blocked.
It's a quirky thing for you to have in your profile.
Yeah.
That's
good
what I
way.
strived for.
That's
to
what
have
you
like
wanna
a little
attract.
cute little profile.
And there's
It
another
drew
tip.
me in.
If you're a weirdo, like truly, if you're one of us, make your profile as realistic and weird as you are, because you don't want to end up having to like mask who you are or reveal, surprise, like 3 months in that you're a
Oh.
fucking weirdo. Just be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Like Christopher having his merman pictures as his profile picture.
You can
That-
see it on Instagram.
Literally, that is why, yeah, on Bagel Bite number 3, I think. 2 or
something
3.
like that.
Something
Yeah, you
like
can
that.
find it.
One
It's
of
the
them. One of the
merman
big
picture.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You'll see
it's
it.
pretty
Yes.
obvious that there's a merman on that page.
Yes, but literally that
Yeah.
is what attracted Kristen, where she was like, "Ooh, I'm interested." You know,
Yeah,
This guy's
I
in a
had-
mer
This guy's
costume.
fucking
I literally
weird.
had
Yeah.
a mermaid tail on a rock on the beach. And then another one was me sitting on like a 7-foot tall jackalope
Yeah.
down in Texas.
Yeah, because I thought
I do
I
not
go,
take myself seriously.
oh, this is probably like a one. He probably did this as a joke, and I go, nope, there's a jackalope. This guy's weird. He's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I am.
And
So
look
I
at
sent
you guys
a rose.
now.
Look at us.
Yeah. Yeah. She sent me a
Aw.
rose.
I sent you a rose, my first and only
and I
ever
went,
rose.
this has got to be a joke, right? It's like, look at her. Why she's sending me a rose?
Oh,
and then he
and then
met me, and he's like, oh, this is why.
I get it.
And then
I
I
get
moved
it.
in immediately.
We.
But no, let
It
your
worked
freak
out.
flag fly.
Yeah.
Be weird.
Yeah, that's
Be
the best
yourself.
way
We can do, like,
to
a
find
bagel
a
bite
fellow
on-
weirdo.
Yeah.
On dating.
Dating.
Yeah.
I have a lot of dating horror stories.
Yes, you
Wow.
do.
Funny.
Dating as an
Samesies.
ADHDer is a whole different ballgame, you know?
Well, I mean, it's taking that
So that's a good
personal
idea.
relationship, that interpersonal relationship
Yeah.
at an accelerated level.
Yes.
And I mean, it's already difficult. I don't like to, throw this other play that card, but like for a guy, it's a little bit.
hard being a straight cis white man.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know,
You're
you're
right.
worried
We should
about
take all
like,
of their problems and
maybe
demean
she
them
won't
into
like me.
nothing
We're
as
like, I
well.
hope he's not a murderer.
I'm just
And
kidding.
that's,
I
and
do.
that's what I think
do want
about
to hear
too
your
is
input.
the like going through that, like the TikTok we saw. God, fucking TikTok that we saw earlier, where it's like, every man, because it's the same way as like every gun you should treat as it's loaded. Every man has to be seen as a possible assailant, and I think about that like every time when I was living in Portland, walking down the street to the bar, and it's like there's a woman 30 feet in front of me, and I'll go across the street so that I can try not to make her feel more uncomfortable. And I'm like, I don't want to be perceived like that.
That's very,
For
very aware of you.
Reference, I grew up with nothing but my mom and my sisters for the longest time. And so it's like, it's super shitty that that's what's happening. It fucking sucks.
And the way to change it is for men to talk to other men, because men are the ones upholding the system that harms them too. You know, the patriarchy and misogyny, it harms us all.
All you quote unquote good guys out there, you're not.
If you're not calling out other guys, especially when women are not around, then you're not a good guy. Just because you're not actively doing that shit
If you
doesn't
see
mean that you're
something,
not
say
participating.
something.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Seriously though.
Yes. You
Yeah.
are a good guy, Christopher. And that is honestly, as a woman, like that,
Thanks.
I notice that when men do that, and it's really, really, it makes a big difference. It makes me immediately feel comfortable. It makes me like respect you, that you like were aware that while you may not be dangerous, men as a whole are a threat to women, you know, and that it can be perceived. We don't know what your deal is. We don't know that you're a really kind, gentle soul. And so it's really
I don't know. It's
aware thing to do.
A shitty world with shitty people, and try not to be one of them. I feel bad even walking down an aisle behind someone at the grocery store, because I'm like, oh God, I feel like I'm giving a creep right now, but really she's just blocking the coffee, and I need to get that fucking coffee.
Yeah.
Just get in there. Just do like I'm just gonna reach in there and just
gotta
gonna
scooch in there. It's like,
just gonna get this, and
I'll do
then
the
they get
Midwest
weirded
thing
out
be
and
like,
they leave
"Oop,
you.
Gotta squeeze on by
Yeah.
you. Gotta grab some of that ranch right there.
I do a lot of
So I do the, excuse me.
We'll do another.
Just got to get some of that Hidden Valley.
Yeah.
I do think throwing a
little too
Midwestern
spicy, though.
accent might make a woman feel more
Well,
comfortable.
it is very not threatening.
Oh, don't you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, pardon me for just a second, dear. I just got to get that.
One time
Well,
I
can't say dear,
had
but-
a friend who was like visiting in Wisconsin, I think it was, and he was on one of those like beer peddling bar
Oh,
things.
cool.
And there was a man on there who was like from the Midwest, and he was getting hot, and he goes, "Oh, I better pop my tarp off," and took his jacket off. It's one of my favorite
Aw.
expressions of all time. Better pop my tarp off.
That's
So
adorable.
keep that one in your back pocket. If you're ever
I'm
worried,
gonna.
if you're ever worried you're making a woman feel threatened, just pull out the old "better pop my tarp off."
Well, I always try to do something that
And she'll be like,
immediately
"Aw."
makes me look less threatening. Like, I
Like
don't
hunch
know,
down real
actually
small.
playing the music that I'm listening to, I'll take out the headphones and play it out loud. So it's like, wow, yeah, he's not a threat. Like my SpongeBob trap music alarm that I listen to every single morning when I wake up. It is
And she's like, "Oh,
amazing.
I'm seeing the full picture now."
Well, yeah. When I was walking in the bar in Portland again, there was a group of like 5 guys about 30 feet behind me, and I felt uncomfortable. And I saw a lone woman walking up the hill, and so I moved to the side of the sidewalk to give more space. I just had my headphones in, so I just remember she was walking, and as she walked past me, and I don't know if it was for me or the 5 creepy dudes behind me that I thought I was going to get jumped by. So I mean, I think that way too. But she's like on her phone and went, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I've got my taser," and then just fired off a couple cracks with her taser. And I just started laughing
That's
out loud.
amazing. What a power
I just started
move.
laughing, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that was awesome." I was like, nice.
Sweet, good for her.
And those guys stopped. Like, I don't know, I didn't see him again.
They were like, "Oh,
I
that
got-
girl's got a taser."
Yeah, but it
I
was
feel
the
unsafe
most.
now.
That was like
Yeah.
big dick energy,
For sure.
as kids
Big-
would say nowadays.
Big vagina energy. Like,
Yeah, it was amazing.
long
To see
vagina
that.
energy.
Oh God.
I don't. We'll
Can
come
that be
back.
the-
We'll
can
circle
that be
back
the
to that
female
one.
This
version?
has been a weird transition, but
Yeah.
maybe we should get into
Oh,
this
we're
And
segment.
there's our transition.
All right, perfect.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry I said long vagina.
Wow.
That's the episode title, Long Vagina.
Okay.
This is how we
What is
lose
the
all
name?
our listeners.
You keep saying that, but they keep coming back for more. Except for the ones we've already lost.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move into that little accomplishment song?
Yeah, we should probably get into that accomplishment song.
Yep.
Grace,
Yep.
hit us with the cues.
Little accomplishments, but big in our hearts.
Yay. All right.
Tofu, start us off.
Start us off. You've been talking for an awfully lot, so how about you
I
talk
have
for
been
some
talking
more?
for an awfully lot.
Yeah, your
Accomplishment is
little
something I should have
accomplishment.
done months ago.
Yep.
I finally, yesterday at work, when I probably the least amount of time you should, I put in my change of address finally.
Woo!
It's
That's
official.
huge.
You're resident of Maine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and
Did
Kristin.
it. I did it. One day I'll
Still
even go to
haven't
the
changed my
DMV.
address to my current apartment.
Nice.
Whoops.
I also was the first one to receive mail at the
Yeah.
apartment. She's been there for a year.
About a year.
Oh, classic.
Whoops.
And meet the mail woman and the
Yeah,
security
you
guards.
did. You're like best buds with our mail woman.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That is
Thank
a
you.
huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Long time.
Grace, what do you have for an accomplishment?
All right. So some may say this is not an accomplishment, but I consider it one. So last weekend, actually, the three of us, this is just like Ian's episode, where the three of us went down to next to Boston. Where'd we go? What town was that?
Medford.
Basically Boston. Medford.
Mud fields.
No,
Yeah,
Medford.
we went to the mud fields.
Medford, Massachusetts.
we went
It's
to
like
Medford,
a very well-known
Massachusetts.
city.
Yeah, that one.
Mudland.
And we went to see Last Podcast on the Left live,
Woo, woo.
which was awesome.
That was really fun.
Congratulations.
I bought Kristin tickets like a year ago for her birthday, and it ended up being great. We were like 3 out of maybe 10 people who were wearing masks, so that was cool.
Someone got in a fight.
Wearing masks.
Yeah, got
Yeah.
thrown out in the middle. They had to
Yeah.
stop the podcast. It's like, I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
But
It's
it was
literally-
classic
it's a-
Boston.
Literally a podcast. Why are you getting into an argument?
I know. We're all like
It's-
sitting
That's like
in
throwing a punch at a
seats.
science fair. Like,
Right.
get the fuck over yourself, guys. Come on.
That just
He even
was
took
like-
off his shirt and he's like, dude.
He's
bruh,
like,
bruh."
bro.
And
Oh,
by the way,
calm
the
down.
person he was screaming at was a woman who was also yelling. So it was just like they're both the people that are shouting out at the crowd.
It was just
Like,
so
shut up.
Boston. I was just
Just-
like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember living in Boston. Anyways, so we got a hotel room for that night, and I think it was when we were getting back from the show, back to the hotel, and we were trying to get into the room, and we were out in the hallway, and Christopher dropped his room key on the floor, and my first instinct, was kick it under the door, and I moved my foot, and I even like got halfway there where I was like, yep, slide this real quick under the door, but I stopped myself, and I said, nope. Do not do that. That's a bad idea. We're trying to get into the room. This is the key. We need that. And I didn't do it.
Where
I
was
called you on that. I remember it.
Yeah.
It was
Christopher
great. I was
caught
like,
me.
You were going to kick that.
Yeah.
Because I would have done the same.
I thought no one
I would've
saw
done
it.
the same thing.
It was literally like split second, like, yep, kick it. My first
That was
thought.
very quick reaction because I saw the floor like, which is good because
No.
your
Don't
key
you
didn't
dare.
work and mine did.
Yes.
Yeah, we only out of the 3 keys, we only had one that
And
worked.
it almost got kicked under the
Yep.
door.
Yeah.
And isn't that growth?
Yes.
That is
So-
You know what, I'm proud
Little
of you.
accomplishment. Thank you. I was really proud of myself. I was like, oh, look at that impulse control. I guess this is growing.
How would you even explain that? We had 3
I guess
keys,
this
one
is
didn't
that.
work, and he kicked the other one under the door.
I don't know. ADHD. Yeah, let's leave it at that. This time
Yeah.
I am using my ADHD as an excuse.
In moments like that, I think it's acceptable.
Yeah. It's like Elena kicking that kid in the shins.
Oh my God.
Just like the thought popped in her head. It was
She's
just like
like, I
immediate
gotta kick
response.
that
like,
guy in the
yep, do
shins.
it.
Do it.
Yep. Yeah. All
I've
right.
got an accomplishment.
What you got?
Drop it on
Hey,
us.
Bone.
Yeah, drop that
I
knowledge
set
bomb.
an appointment for the 3rd time to do my taxes.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Third
And-
time?
Yeah, well, so I kept making like phone consultations for specific questions, like as if I've already done my taxes and then I
Oh.
have a question about it. And so they called me because I kept like doing it. I'm like, this isn't right. So I'd make another one. So they call me and they go, what question do you have? I go, no, I don't have a question. I just want someone to do my taxes. I guess my question is, can you do my taxes? And they're like, no, that's not a consultation. You booked a consultation. And I was like, I just don't want to do my taxes.
Who are you calling?
The H&R Block.
Can't you just like do that online?
It wasn't giving the option. I
Yeah,
was like,
it wasn't
yeah,
giving
too.
the
And it was like,
option.
well, this is
Pushing it to
good.
the deadline.
Pushing it to the limit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
and
Take it to the limit. The limit.
I don't know the song.
I don't know of it.
That was really great.
But yeah, so I have like an official appointment coming up, and it's an in-person. She goes, "Why don't we just book you in person?"
Once
I
again,
already have like
we
a,
see what's going on
yeah,
here.
yeah. I just go. I was like, I shouldn't be doing my taxes. I don't want that responsibility.
We shouldn't
She
have to
was-
do taxes to
Help
begin
me.
with. Other countries don't have to do their fucking taxes. The government just does it because they know what we're making. They could easily do it. It's literally just about tax companies
Right.
and how big tax companies are.
Like H&R Block.
Comes back
But-
to capitalism.
I just want to say that the lady was so kind because I was clearly in a moment of panic. And she was just like, let's make you an in-person appointment. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, no one likes doing their taxes. And I was like, oh my God, you're so
Aw.
right. No one does like doing their taxes. And she's
Except
like, it's okay.
accountants.
You see me.
We'll help you. And I was like, so I don't know who she was, but she was really, really nice on
Oh.
the phone.
An
She was an
angel.
angel.
Beat ya.
Too slow.
All right.
I was going to say angel as well.
Oh.
That's a stolen
Send
joke.
me an angel.
Oh. Okay, let's move on to our
I'm
next.
so quirky.
That's our new song.
It's all done. That's it. It's just that.
Quirk.
All right. Quirk, 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 quirk,
wait.
quirk.
I like the way you quirk it.
Oh,
no diggity.
no diggity.
Whoa.
A little bit diggity.
Are you in need of a kazoo?
Are you a kazoo guy or
Because
a
you
singing
forgot
boy?
you were going to bring down
I
your
just-
own kazoo.
Completely blanked on the song. I'll do the singing.
You do the sing?
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm left in the
Perfect.
dust.
Yes. Suck it, kazoo.
Kazooers are a
Kazoo,
dying
Kristin.
breed.
No, it's just how can I perform in front of a master kazooer?
Oh my God.
That'd be like me
embarrassed.
trying to play a guitar in front of Beethoven.
Very
like,
true.
who the fuck do you
I think
you are?
Beethoven would really like that.
I think he'd go witchcraft and try to have me burned.
Very true.
Also, you can't hear it. So,
Very true.
What's the point?
guitars are wasted on Beethoven.
As they say.
That classic
All right.
saying.
Some people call me Stacy, some people call me fun, but I'm just quirky. Nice. And that's it. Timely.
Nailed
yeah.
it.
All right,
Nice.
Christopher, this one is all on you, my guy.
Shit.
What do you
Lay
got?
those quirks on us.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Quirk number one.
Quirks. All right. One of my quirks is what I just coined the phrase today when we were discussing it. I have a mind clipboard.
You have a clipboard memory.
That's the one. See how good it is, the memory?
Yeah, it's
It's
solid.
also very
I think
selective.
it's on that
You
clipboard.
have very much a memory for pictures, though. Can you please explain how your memory works?
Oh, yes, I can. So when I hear something or think of something or am told something, immediately a full-blown picture or movie is playing in my head, but it's kind of like I can see it at the same time.
Whoa.
So it's kind of like on a, like if you turned up the opacity on like a filter or something like that, and it's just kind of sitting there in front of reality a little bit. Like it's there, but it's not. So I can see that. So like when I'm reading a book, there's a movie playing in my head of everything that I'm reading at the time.
What?
Yeah. When I listen to something, I'm picturing the people where they are doing it. When I was a little kid, because I thought that was normal, I would play a game called Let's Look Through That Other Person's Eyes. And I'd close my eyes and like after looking at somebody like in a grocery store, and I would be looking out of their eyes
Like
at what they're
fucking
looking
Bran
at.
Stark over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly what it's like.
Without the sweet wheels.
Holy shit, Bran can walk.
Yeah. So I used to play
That's
a game and try to look at
wild.
details of stuff, what is in front of them. And yeah, so that's kind of how my memory works. But with the clipboard memory, I was trying to explain it earlier by saying, like when you get the verification codes, you have to type in on your phone or something like that. Or even phone numbers, if I have them and have to type them in. I'll remember like the first 4 or 5 digits and keep repeating them over and over. And the ones I don't have, I'll take like a snapshot in my memory and just hold it there. So I'm like holding it like a clipboard while repeating the other ones. And so I'll get through the ones that I have and then look at the note in my head to write the rest.
That's an amazing strategy.
It's
If you can
very-
visualize, which I cannot,
Yeah,
then I'm
very
pissed.
fast.
There's There's no way I would be able to do that.
Distracting. Yeah, it's very.
That's a really.
I don't even know how you go about living your life seeing all them pictures and whatnot, you know?
Well, I had no
movies.
idea until listening to you guys and talking to you guys about that
The
wasn't-
metacognition episode.
Yeah, I had no idea that it wasn't like that for everyone.
Yeah, I can't see shit, and I'm pissed about it.
I see
Pissed.
everything, and it's so distracting, which leads me into the next quirk,
Hmm.
which are what we're calling VR dreams.
Oh, what about your pattern recognition?
Damn it! I had a regular Ben Kissel transition right
You
there.
did.
I
flowing
know, that
into
was
the
so
other
smooth.
one.
That was so
I
impressive.
ruined it. You
Yeah.
did. Well, you can talk about your VR dreams, and then you want to end on a high note?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
can do that. So the VR dreams, I don't.
Go to your transition again.
But the VR dreams are kind of like I have dreams at night that are so intense and vivid that I can remember them later, and it's like a movie with
Whoa.
plot lines and everything. At times, I'll be like lucid dreaming, do that fairly often as well, which is really
Wow.
annoying because I'm always fucking tired.
Yeah, I bet
I
you
am
are. You got a lot
exhausted
going
90%
on.
of the time. But the dreams can be extremely overwhelming at times.
Hmm.
Like the last couple nights, I've had dreams where it's just super emotionally intense
Hmm.
and like almost debilitating to where I wake up and I have to take like a full 10 seconds to sit there and go, okay, that wasn't real. Breathe.
Whoa. Wow.
So,
And then my cat will like bite my toes. And I'm like, motherfucker. Okay, good. So I don't know if that's bad. Sometimes they're really good like that.
should I be like
I
shaking
mean,
you
that
awake
is a quirk.
like I
I mean-
usually do at 6:30? I'm like, hey, 6:30.
Yeah. I like just barely see you for a second and I get sucked back into the dream anyway. But I
Wow.
appreciate it. It helps. Keep doing it.
Okay.
Right.
Coo.
Right.
End on a high note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then the
that's
other
good.
one is pattern recognition, I guess. Like
Hmm.
in high school, in geometry, for example, I never studied. One of my best buddies and I, we sat there doing Super Trooper quotes, Hangman edition, in the back of the class. Never paid attention, and then on the tests, I could figure out how to do a lot of the stuff
How'd your buddy
Wow.
do?
terribly. He was fucking well. The first half he did fairly well because he was just looking at my test, and then they caught on to that. So the second semester we had tests A and B.
Oh, no.
And
I hate
so
that.
he
I hate
failed.
that.
Teacher
But
bullshit.
our other friend who was on the other side of him did well. We averaged it out, but it was, yeah. I like patterns, like this new Wordle stuff you got me into.
Yeah, you're a Wordle champ.
It's
you
fun.
are.
I
It's
am
fun. I
quite
like-
terrible.
I like that stuff. I like numbers. I like words. I like license plates, which we've talked about before.
Are you a big
Yes.
Sudoku fan?
Nah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I don't really like Sudoku. Something about the numbers is
it's-
wildly distracting to me.
It's fine. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, that one's like boring.
Hmm.
Like, I'll do it, but
I find
want to.
Sudoku.
At what cost?
exactly. Sacrifice
Yeah.
part of my life.
I find Sudoku incredibly overwhelming.
I like it.
Mm.
I don't know what it is. I feel like because I can't see it, I need to like write it out, and there's no space for me to write out.
See, that's Socks' thing. He loves Sudoku.
Well, Socks is a robot, so it totally makes sense.
Whoa. No,
All
but
he
might
knows
be on
is
the spectrum
binary
as well.
code.
Well,
He-
speaking of that,
binary, yes.
Yes.
speaking of that, I know we were talking about this, but we somehow didn't get to it in the hour and a half that we've already been
'Cause they
recording.
talk a lot.
We all talk a lot, and
Yeah,
that's the
that's fair.
podcast. But we kind of talked about how you also have suspected that you could be autistic as well.
hmm
And I didn't know if, real quick, we just wanted to mention that a couple of those quirks that you mentioned are also traits of autism.
Yes, I've started suspecting this in the last 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Since we started talking about it, I'm like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this is stuff that I recognized with the kids that I worked with.
Hmm. Well, it's funny because all three of us just took this little autism test.
It was a
online.
neurodivergency test. There's like several
Yeah,
of
there were a
them.
bunch of different
Yeah.
types, and so we took a few different types. So we took an autism one, and literally one of the questions was, do you memorize license plate numbers? And do you it was all about pattern recognition.
Yeah.
I was like, this is Christopher to a T. He wrote in, episodes and episodes ago about doing that. And then, how good you are with pattern recognition, your very vivid imagery in your brain, like thinking in pictures. Those are all aspects of autism.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all, and that's something I'm going to bring up too when I finally have my my meeting, my doctor's visit.
Your meeting. It's
Yeah.
Your meeting. Doctor meeting.
Yeah, when I have my doctor meeting.
We'll have
Doctor.
to do another episode with you after you go to your doctor meeting, because I'd be very interested, if you feel comfortable updating us.
Oh, absolutely.
appointment. Is that the word we're all looking for right now?
Ding 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 ding.
Yes, thank you.
I prefer
I've only been
doctor.
working in healthcare for 4 weeks,
Yeah.
but I've had appointments my whole life, so that's not an excuse.
I like doctor meeting.
Yeah, doctor meeting.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick because some of our quirks can overlap, between ADHD and autism, but some of our quirks are like specifically autism quirks. And I think when we recognize that, it's important to, call out the distinction, because we don't want to overlap too much, to the point where we're erasing like the autistic identity, because I think that's a really cool thing that you do that's like very different from how Kristin and I kind of see the world.
I don't see the world.
What?
She's got no eyes.
Surprise. We haven't told you until now. Kristin has no eyes, and that's why she's in podcasting.
I
Just
go
like
by
Kristin
And
face.
vascular surgery.
vascular.
Vascular surgery and
I'm
podcasting. Whereas I'm just a mouth and eyebrows.
Mouth plus eyebrows.
Yes.
You are my eyes and my
Yes.
eyebrows.
And my eyebrows. Yeah, she feels the eyebrows. That's why she loves them.
Yes. When she's in surgery, I just sit on her back and tell her where.
You're
to cut.
like left hand.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
This is an
It's a
inspirational
50-50
story for
shot.
the ages. I think it's time for
Alternative
segments.
Yeah, you are.
Too angry.
Yeah.
Make it
Sorry.
more DJ.
Alternative.
Oh man. All right, we have a segment for you today.
Do your DJ voice.
Christopher, you're a gamer. Let's try things I've learned from video games. Pew, 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 pew. Wow!
Alternative.
Okay.
Christopher, what have you learned from video games?
Just
You don't have to say
totally
it.
blanked.
You can just do it.
Let me go. I'll go first because
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
is short and
pass.
sweet.
Bring it on back.
I could.
Grace, what have you learned from video games?
I couldn't really think of that many things other than sarcastic, smartass things. So the real thing I learned is that I get motion sickness from playing video games. That's what I've learned from video games.
Womp womp.
That's great.
Alternative.
I've got
Kristin,
one.
what have you learned from video games?
I've learned that you can easily manipulate men to give you free things online if you're a female character. And I used to do this all the time when I played RuneScape, and I think I already talked about it.
RuneScape.
You can get a lot of
Yeah.
free gold and free things just by simply playing as a girl character. People are stupid, is what I
Actually,
learned.
Yeah,
I've
take
learned to do
advantage
the
of that.
same thing. That's
Yeah.
how I, back when I played World of Warcraft, I made my first gold pretending to be a girl.
There
It was
you go.
fantastic.
Yeah. Take money from men.
Yep.
Whenever
Yep.
you can.
Yep.
That's life
That's
advice.
Good
Little tip.
life
little
advice.
Also, I think hand-eye coordination, being able to have fast reflexes, problem solving, things like that have helped a lot. There's been a lot of studies where they see that kids playing games have faster. Like
At first, I thought
puzzle
you said
things.
acid refluxes. and I
Acid
was
reflux also comes along with that, but that's with age, I
It's a
think.
comorbidity.
Yeah, it's if you keep having the gamer diet of Mountain Dew and hot Cheetos. It happens, but I'm not going to give it up.
Baja Blast.
Oh, blast.
No one knows that reference.
Or
Who's
blame,
the-
right.
Not everybody's on TikTok, except for us. We're all on
We're
TikTok,
all on
but I
TikTok.
don't
I
think
was
all of our
forced.
listeners
Yes.
are on TikTok.
All right. And color blindness is
Oh,
the other thing that you have written down.
That's right. Yeah, I'm colorblind.
Because of the video games.
Dick. Yes. No, colorblindness, it definitely made me realize because there's certain things you have to do. And when it doesn't align with the type of colorblindness you have, it makes it a little more difficult. Luckily, they've actually added quite a few colorblind settings in video games to help with that, depending on the type.
Oh.
Of
Accessibility.
That's really nice of them.
It is.
Nice.
So don't do it because I'm not a coward, but no, I'm just
What?
kidding. I'm just
That doesn't
kidding.
make any
Actually, it's because Kristin got me the indoor colorblind glasses,
I did.
and it's changed a lot of games that I already thought were beautiful, just so vibrant and amazing. So
Mm.
thank you again.
Oh,
I remember when
what a
we
girlfriend.
Yeah.
went on a hike in the fall and you
Oh,
wore your
shit.
colorblind glasses for the first time, and you're like, whoa, 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 look at that tree, look at how red. Oh my God, look at the leaves.
I mean, it's
Aw.
basically if you're in New England in the fall and you see that crazy neon red color,
Mhm.
imagine all of that was a dull brown. That's what I
That's
saw.
a bummer.
Anytime the green is next to the red gets washed out. So like fire trucks, stop signs, they all look maroon. And then when I put on the glasses, I was like, wow, that's a really fucking annoying color. No wonder people in red cars get pulled over. But the trees were amazing. I had to pull over because I got overwhelmed. And it still happens from time to time. I have to take the glasses off because I'm like, all right, sensory overload.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, shit. Yeah, there's another autism thing. Fuck.
You get a lot of sensory overload.
Yeah, I do. I get sensory
You have,
overload.
like,
Can I put in another?
Same thing with music. Same thing with music.
Because it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just needs to be managed so you don't get too overwhelmed.
Yes. And I like to stim with my hands and feet.
Yeah.
Toe tapping, finger touching,
Like exactly what you're doing right now.
exactly what I'm doing right now, and I've been fighting the whole time not to do. Yes.
I know.
Been masking for the podcast.
Fidget toys.
It's very important for adults who are neurodivergent, both ADHDers and autistic people stim, but, it might look a little different or intensity level might be different, but we both stim in different ways. But it's really important because you don't even know what you're masking even when you're alone. Because, if you think about it, like with ABA, where they're like training out your natural body's movements, what have you been masking since you were a child that someone was like, stop doing that? That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
And that even
Don't
when
fidget.
even when you're alone, so it turns into like more, quote unquote, more appropriate forms of stimming. So like mine is tucking my hair behind my ears. I do it like constantly, especially when I'm anxious. I'm like always touching my hair over and over. And putting on chapstick is another one, and like picking at my nails.
Mine's putting my whole fist in my mouth.
That one probably should have been trained out of you. It makes people uncomfortable,
Sir, get down from the podium.
But I saw a TikTok that was saying how it's important to move your body in like really weird ways when you're alone and just play around with things and try to drop the idea that it's weird and kind of lean into it. It makes you laugh. That gives you dopamine.
It's so much more fun.
Find what feels natural to your body, and trying to even unmask for yourself is a big thing.
Yeah, put that arm up in the air for no reason.
Oh, I was just doing that the other day.
Yeah, I love doing that.
Yeah, just let it.
I used to
when you're
sleep
laying
with
down
my
on your
hands
side.
tucked under my arms like the chicken dance.
Just practicing.
I didn't know
Training.
it. Yeah, my roommate filmed me singing that song.
Oh.
It was eye-opening. Yeah.
All right, and that has been
Alternative
Segments.
Bam, bam, bam.
Alternative.
Should
we
clip clop into town?
I was just trying to find another analogy for trotting.
Should we canter in?
Ooh,
Nice.
horse girl, you little horse girl.
Berry
All
tails.
those years of reading Black Beauty.
Mary legs.
I was going to say, all right, Mary legs.
Yeah, let's clip clop / train our way on into town.
Yep.
But we're not quite there yet because first we're stopping off at the old pizza shack.
The pizzeria.
And we're grabbing a little slice.
A slice to go.
A little slice to go. There you go. Before we get back on the horse and continue on to the rest of our journey.
Through the rest of the
is
town.
in sight. We just first pizza stop. Smooth, flawless. All right, Christopher, lay that pizza secret on
We
us.
gotta do this song.
Oh fuck!
Oh my God.
Where is my head?
You're
People
so
think you're
distracted by the
pizza.
cantering.
People think you're
I
secret.
know. But it's
just
a secret.
Pizza secrets.
Let's have a song.
All right, you got it?
Anything can be a song.
Well, that's not the correct
If
song.
you
If people are
sing
here for the
it-
song, we
Alright.
got to get the
If you
people
sing
what
it, it
they
can
wrong.
be a song.
Sure, it is.
All right.
It's not the correct song, though.
Calm down.
I'm upset. No, I'm not.
No, you're just
Kristen's getting
hangry.
upset.
We need some sugar.
Or just dinner.
All right, let's
Actually,
sing and then we can have a snack and we can get on the road.
Hey, snack.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
Nice.
Nailed it. Pizza secret.
All right, Tofu. We are almost coming to a close, but first, not yet, because we want to hear that pizza secret.
All right. Not proud of this one, but also
I'm proud of this one. I'm proud for you.
Oh, it's not that one. I changed
Oh,
it.
shoot. Okay, I'm not
So-
proud
But I'm
of
still
it.
going to go with that.
Hold your
You're proud.
statements. Hold your statements.
I have used somebody else's name as a scapegoat every time I've gotten in trouble since high school. And it's somebody I went to high school with. Yeah, so
What
if
do you
ever
mean?
accidentally got beat up for no reason, Trevor St. Clair, I'm very sorry.
Did he
Like-
deserve it?
He wasn't the greatest, but I mean, I don't know that he deserved it. He's just, yeah, it
Wait,
happened.
give
Oh,
an
Trevor,
example.
dog
Give
named
An
Trevor.
example? Yeah,
That's
dog
where
named
you,
Trevor.
That's where
it-
you made that
it popped
connection.
back into my head.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, for example, a friend's family, they were all going on a cruise. He was allowed to bring one friend and asked if I want to go. I said, yeah, I'm never going to be able to go on a cruise. I'm fucking going. We were like 15, 16. We went. We were out after hours if you were under 18. And they stopped me because I was the littlest of the group, even though I was the oldest or second oldest. And the security guard grabbed me and took me to the side by a computer. He was like, what's your name? To like type it in and everything like that. I was like, Trevor Sinclair. And he turned around and started typing in and I took off.
Nice.
I've also used
Suck it, Trevor Sinclair.
police before.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not anything like too bad or anything. Just like, you know, when you're had enough to drink and like, what's your name? And you tell them and you run away again.
Yeah, man.
Man, you were just booking it.
Running
Respect.
a lot.
Always
but
run from, I shouldn't say that.
No, don't say that.
Yeah.
Only sometimes. Like if
Other times they
you're
might
having a
murder you.
race with them.
And you're
Like a
fast
foot
as
race.
lightning.
Yeah. Fast as fuck, boy. But yes, I've used his name for many, many years. Sorry,
That's a
Trevor.
great piece of secret.
It's
Totally
just always
forgot
in the
about it,
back
but,
of
like,
your mind.
Anytime I'm in trouble and somebody asks my name, the first thing that pops in my head, no matter what, like I'll say my name now, but first always is Trevor Sinclair.
I think you should bring it back. Bring back Trevor.
Bring back Trevor.
Well, I think
Bring
he's
back
gotten,
Trevor.
I think he's
Bring
actually
back-
gotten in a fight because of it. Like, it was over AOL Instant Messenger.
Ooh.
Oh.
What a throwback.
Is your
Yeah.
AOL Instant Messenger handle Trevor
No,
Sinclair?
No.
I
I
am
was
Trevor
definitely
Sinclair.
talking trash. I've always
For
had.
real.
If I was a character from Stephen King's It, I'd be Trash Mouth Eddie Tozier.
3 people
No,
are going to
it's
get that
Tozier.
reference.
Plus Pennywise.
Eddie.
Plus Pennywise.
No, sorry, Ricky Tozier. Yeah, beep beep Richie. Because I just ran my
Mm,
mouth
I'll
all
be
the
good.
time.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran my mouth all the time, and one time somebody said they were going to beat me up on AIM, and I said that I was Trevor Sinclair, and he got
Instead of
beat
just
up.
making up a name,
I did make up a
threw this
name.
one specific under the bus.
I'm so sorry, Trevor,
You could have said
But I
any
mean-
name in the world.
and I did.
It was Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
pizza secret.
what a pizza secret.
Pizza secret. Sorry, Trevor.
All right.
Okay.
That was a phenomenal pizza secret.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your secrets. Thank you for sharing your hobbies and sharing your
Sharing my
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, sharing your heart.
Thanks for sharing your Pod Loft.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for sound engineering our Pod Loft.
And doing our
I think for
logo and helping us through emotional times.
And just being a pal.
maybe we
Yeah.
should turn this into an applaud loft.
Oh! That was the thing.
Reused
that
joke.
was the
What
that
up?
was
Oh,
your
that was
quirk.
the quirk.
That was your quirk.
Oh,
You
I
were
make
really good at
terrible,
puns.
terrible
You're really
puns
good
all
at
the
terrible
time.
puns.
You're right.
Out of nowhere.
You're so quirky. You're really terrible. You're good at terrible puns.
Yeah,
You're terrible.
That was
at
the
terrible
quirk.
pun-
yeah,
Yes. You're right. You're
That was-
shouting.
that was it. Okay,
I am
thank
shouting.
you. Thank you for bringing it back though, because that would have bugged me all evening.
I just my timing's impeccable.
yeah, I have trash jokes, and somehow Kristin puts up with it.
You love
Somehow she
wordplay.
manages. I love
Somehow she
wordplay.
manages.
Somehow she manages.
I every day is a struggle.
Yeah. I just want her to be afraid of how much she loves me.
Yeah, I
She's
am
terrified.
so afraid.
It never stops, and I can't help it because it's one of those
It's like
things
a
that's also a quirk
disease.
to where you have to say it or you feel like you're going to explode.
Yes,
I get it.
I'll
Yep.
be like in the bathroom, and he'll be like,
It's like, you can't see the reference
"Are
that
you
I'm
done
doing.
yet? Are you done? I gotta tell you something when you come. I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, it's a.
I'll just
it's a
like
problem.
stay in there. I'm just like not doing anything. I'm like, just
Please
breathe.
not today.
Just breathe.
We can make it. Just have to get to bed.
But yeah, no,
You're so fucking quirky,
you're
Christopher.
so
Nice. I
quirky.
got the
Thank you for
quirks.
sharing your
Thanks.
pizza secrets. Thank you
Yeah.
for being with us here today on a rainy day.
Thanks for
Saturday.
having me. It was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
If people want to check out your art, where should they
Oh.
find you?
You can find me on Instagram at BunERabbit. That's BUN.E.rabbit.
We'll have that in the show notes.
And then also on TikTok, it's I forgot.
I think it's Run E Rabbit or
Run-
Runny
oh, it's-
Babbit.
Yeah,
Runny back.
at yeah,
that's not
Runny
confusing.
Babbit. RUNNIEBABBIT.
Not
like,
confusing at all.
Yeah.
It's like Bunny
Slightly
Rabbit.
different.
Bunny Rabbit. Switch the beginning. Runny Babbit.
Yeah, but your Instagram and your TikTok are different.
It's all rabbit themed.
But in
I
different
feel like
forms.
there's a lot of rabbit themed TikToks and Instagrams. You
This
know?
is-
Well, one was taken. Okay. I actually don't know how that came about.
I don't.
Oh, Shel Silverstein has a book called Running Babbitt as well.
Yes.
Deep cut. All right. If you want to find us,
If you're begging for more,
you're screaming for it, you can go on Instagram at Weirds of a Feather. You can email us. We are on the Gmail, as Kristin would say.
We are on
like
the
old woman
Gmail.
she is. At weirdsofafeather@gmail.com.
On the Googles.
yeah, we're on the Gmail. We're on the Instagram, and we're on the Tickety Talks.
All right. Kristin's been
Every-
crushing it with her music bracket, butt bracket.
Vote on. You can watch it on TikTok. Vote on Instagram. We're taking the polls on Instagram every day, Sunday through Friday. We're during the weekdays. We're voting on the butt music bracket. Make your vote count. Do your research. We're cruising through. We're gonna have some heated battles this week.
Well, this is coming out in 2 weeks, so it'll be
I thought it was
nearing
coming out in 1 week.
No.
Oh shoot!
We're
Well, it's
doing-
probably gonna be over by
Well,
then.
I guess it'll be a week and a half. It'll be a week and a half. So we'll still be going.
Okay.
Yeah, we still got a few brackets to
We'll be
sit
nearing the
there
end.
We'll be
or
nearing the
It'll be
end.
getting more intense. Kristin's bringing the
Yeah.
heat
I'm bringing the heat.
like never before.
Make
Yeah.
your vote count.
Yep. All right, we got to wrap this up. This is way too long, as always.
Whoop whoop! Can't wait to sound edit this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
Can't wait to
wanna
content edit.
squawk us
Yeah.
out?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for joining us. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Whoa, it's my dad doing a Donald Duck impression.
That's exactly what he was going for.
Good call.
It's uncanny.
Whoa.
That's probably way
Oh.
too high pitched for a microphone, but
Well, we'll see.
We'll
you're
see.
supposed to be a flock. Come on, get in here.
All right.
Good call.
We never go at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. Big change. Scary change.
That's an owl having a good time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a peacock.
Oh, I recognized it.
That's the immigrant song from that one band.
Yep, we all know it.
It's in Thor Ragnarok, but
All right, I think that's good.
cheap.
Okay. All right, bye.